All right, Jesse, it is a gorgeous day out, and I figured we should just go for a bike ride, because, you know, why not?
It's a beautiful day.
All right, let's get going.
Is my tire supposed to look like that?
No, actually, it's not.
Oh my God. Because how am I going to replace it? Because it's a hub motor, which means it's got like wires and it's got the derailleur and all the...
You know what? I think there's a way we can fix that without even having to take the wheel off and worry about any of that stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can do it, and we'll show you next on Now Let's Review.
All right. All right, Ethan, so there's a way to fix this without taking the wheel off? I mean, how do we...
All right, well,
Whoa.
First thing we're gonna do is turn this off and remove the battery so that we don't accidentally do that and, you know, lose some fingers when we get caught in the spokes and everything, so.
It's an e-bike, remember, safety first. Switch it off. I've never taken it out upside down before. Okay. Safety first. So now, no turn, that's good. All right, so what's the next step?
So in this case, the tire is completely deflated. There's no air left in it, but if there was air left in it, all you'd have to do is unscrew the valve cap here, and there's a little stem in there that you can just put pressure on with your finger or another tool, and that will let air out.
Okay, so what is the problem with this tire?
So there's actually a tube underneath this part, which is the part that holds all the air, and that has a puncture in it. So very hard to get at the tube when this is in the way. So you have to basically move this out of the way so you can get to the tube, and then from there do the repair.
Okay, so I mean, oh wow.
You're getting there. If it wasn't as easy as this, you do have these tools that you can use to pry the tire open.
Oh, well that would help.
Yeah, here you go.
Okay. All right, so let me come in here. Oh, and I can see the tube. So this is just like not a cover, but it's the tire. It's where all the tread is.
Right.
And you can replace that independently of the inner tube. Okay, so now I've gotten one side of it mostly off. And oh, look at this.
There's your tube.
There's our inner tube.
Well, now that you got the tube out, we have to find where it's leaking from. So basically, if it's a big enough puncture, you're probably gonna be able to see it, but what we can do is also pump a little bit of air into the tube and see if we can hear or feel where it's leaking from.
Okay, so we didn't mess with any of this stuff. We didn't have to take off the wheel. And now we have full access to the inner tube, but we can't get the inner tube off, right?
Right.
We can't replace it without taking all this off, but we can repair it.
Exactly, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're not trying to replace it, just repair it without having to go through the whole arduous process of taking the wheel and everything off.
Okay.
So let's give this a little bit of air, see if we can see, feel, or hear where the leak is coming from.
Okay.
So as you can see, tube is inflating.
Nice.
All right, so let's see, we'll take this off.
Okay.
So, got enough air in here.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll be able to see or hear or feel where the air is coming out.
Okay, so let's be very quiet. Okay, well, Ethan, I don't see or hear anything. It must be a really small leak, one that we can't see or hear. Now what do we do? Okay, I'm not hearing anything.
Right, I think we might have the pressure a little too low, so I'm gonna add a little bit more air.
Okay.
Obviously, when you're starting from a very flat tube like this, you have 0 PSI in the thing, and you wanna add quite a bit.
Because I mean, normally a tire is not this. Oh, there we go. I'm starting to feel the pressure. Wow, it really expands too. And that means that it probably expands to the point where you're gonna be able to find the leak.
Yeah.
All right, let me listen. Oh, I can feel it on my face.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Look at that. So while you have the tube out of the tire, you can look at this and know exactly which one you're gonna wanna order for the next time you have to deal with this, in case you have a tube that is punctured to the point where it is not repairable.
All right, Ethan, we found the hole. I can put my finger over it and stop it from leaking.
I don't think that's gonna work while you're riding the bike though.
No, okay.
So what we have is this very, very simple tube patch kit. We'll put the link down below. It's just a couple really easy steps to fix a simple leak like this.
All right, let's do it.
So the first step, you're going to basically buff out the area. It comes with this little abrasive tool, so I will give this to you and let you kind of...
It's a little cheese grater.
Yeah, basically.
Now, isn't this gonna hurt the tire more?
If you do it lightly, it shouldn't. It's basically just gonna make sure that there's a good sticky area for the patch to adhere to.
Oh yeah, I can see it. Really buffs it up. That's good. Nice little tool. All right, so it's nice and buffed up,
Yep.
ready for some glue. Do we have glue?
Yeah, so it comes with rubber cement. You're gonna put a little bit on there and kind of just spread it around to make sure that there's enough for the patch to stick to.
Okay.
And keep in mind that rubber cement is very sticky, so you might want to use like latex gloves or something while you're applying this, or just, we took a little piece of the box, folded it up, and you can use that to just kind of spread it around if you don't want it to stick to your fingers.
Okay. All right, Ethan, quick, hand me the patch.
All right, well here, you can have it, but you want to wait until there's kind of like a matte finish on the glue. You don't want it to be all shiny and glossy like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna let it set up a little bit.
Yeah, so you can see it's still kind of glossy, but it is starting to dry up a little bit. So you don't have to wait too long, just enough so that it's not like still like wet rubber cement on there.
Because then the patch would be sliding all
Right,
over the place.
exactly.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna be peeling the foil off of this plastic here. It's important that you do not touch the actual patch with your fingers. There's plastic on it, so it's okay that I'm doing that now. But if you're really, putting this on, do not touch it because the oils on your fingers are going to interfere with the solution, and it's not going to work. So I think we're just about ready. Peeling off the foil. Okay, I've got my plastic, and I'm very careful not to get my fingers touching it. Get this stuck right on there. You just want to make sure that it's nice and well adhered. And you're just going to kind of hold it for about a minute. Okay, now the package says that you can remove the plastic layer. The pros will tell you don't have to do this, but it does look nice. All right, so we got the patch on. It's holding air. I don't hear any other leaks. Let's try and put this back in. This is kind of hard.
Well, you didn't take it out when it was full of air.
Because it was flat.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a lot easier to get back in if there's little to no air in the tube. So we're
Okay.
gonna let the air out and then put it back in and then fill it back up.
Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of just shove this underneath the wheel, right?
Well, no, you have a very important part that needs to go in a very specific place. The valve stem needs to go through the hole in the wheel for the valve stem so that you can access it. So always start with that, make sure that's in there, and then from there, you can go around the tire.
Okay. It's a little tricky, I will be honest. All right, Ethan, let's pump it up.
Well, you want to make sure the tire's sitting on the rim properly. So right here, you can see it's not quite on the rim. And make sure it's sitting in there so that when you do put air back in the tire, it actually will hold it in place.
I see, because that bead is actually very important.
Yes.
I mean, it's not holding air like it does in a car tire.
Right. But I mean, this is what is in contact with the ground, and you want to make sure that's securely on there.
Yeah.
And on this tire, there are like lips along the side of the tire that slide underneath the rim, so it does hold it in place. You just want to make sure that those are in there before you start pumping it up. So I think we're looking good.
Nice.
All right, so tire's in place on the rim. Got the pump on, we're gonna pump it up, and just kind of watch as you're filling it up to make sure that it sits correctly on the rim before you inflate it all the way and have a wonky tire.
It could, the tire could explode if it's not sitting on the rim properly.
Exactly. I think we're looking good. That's looking like a functional bike tire again.
This is awesome. So we just repaired this bike tire for about, what, like $5?
Yeah, I think that kit was around $5.
And I mean, I still have rubber cement, we still have patches, and we still have this great little cheese grater. So, I mean, you could go back to the broken glass factory if you want to and do some BMXing, because you have more patches to fix for that $5. So that's very cost effective.
Yeah, $5 in about 10 minutes of your time to fix a bike instead of paying someone like $150, $200 to get a new tire or something on your bike. So
exactly.
Definitely a worthy investment of your time and money.
And I think the biggest part here is that we didn't have to take the wheel off, thank goodness, because, I mean, we have gears, the derailleur, and the motor with the wire, all of that we'd have to worry about. We didn't have to worry about any of it. All we did was basically deflate it, take the tire off, and repair the inner tube.
Yeah, it was pretty simple, honestly. About $5 in 10 minutes of your time, so very easy repair to do, and definitely more cost and time effective than having to pay someone at a bike shop to do this for you.
So if you have a flat tire, I hope that you can get back on the road again. All right, let's go test it and see if it works. Well, seems to be working. I hope that that was helpful to you. And if you like this video, hit the like button and be sure to hit subscribe. We'll see you next time. Now let's review.